Donald Trump's losing it again, and this time he actually said it out loud. After a wave of election defeats and the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, Trump finally muttered the words no one ever expected to hear. It wasn't good for Republicans. And right after that rare admission came the breaking point, a public meltdown that tells us exactly how fragile his empire really is. The chain reaction started with cruelty disguised as policy. When 42 million Americans relying on SNAP benefits were left hanging during the shutdown, the White House had a message for them. Wait.
The administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money.
That cold dismissal sums up everything about Trump's leadership. Distant, careless, and always ready to blame someone else when real people suffer. Soon, even the courts had to intervene. Judges were ordering the government to restore benefits, not because of political pressure, but because millions of families were going hungry.
The program serves about 1 in 8 Americans. Last week, 2 judges ordered the federal government to pay at least partial benefits with emergency funds.
Because the Democrats have forced the administration into a very untenable position.
Yesterday, another judge ordered the president to fully fund SNAP by today. So the Trump administration is now asking the Supreme Court to take up his request.
Rather than help people, Trump escalated the fight, taking the issue all the way to the Supreme Court, desperate to prove that feeding hungry Americans somehow made him look weak. What happened next was chaos on the ground. People in Arizona and across the country saw their food aid appear one moment and vanish the next.
Whiplash really is the best way to describe how SNAP recipients tell me that they're feeling tonight, from elation in seeing their accounts again to those full benefits potentially being blocked by the Supreme Court.
Full November SNAP benefits, or food stamps, started hitting Arizona's accounts Friday evening.
I'm feeling wonderful due to the fact I got my food stamps.
Bringing joy to many.
Help is here.
The Arizona Department of Economic Security said they would resume the normal release schedule over the weekend, but just minutes after this interview.
But now our pantries are empty, and I'm trying to fill them back up again because you don't know what's going to happen in this economy nowadays.
We learned that the U.S. Supreme Court issued an order pausing the requirement to distribute full SNAP benefits until the lower court makes a decision on the Trump administration's opposition. Arizona SNAP recipients feeling like they're in the middle of a game. But this is not a game. These are people, and they're asking for food for their family.
For working-class Americans, the message was clear. Trump's political theater was literally taking food off their tables. And then came the quote that shocked even his inner circle.
Last night, it was, I don't think it was good for Republicans. I don't think it was good. I'm not sure it was good for anybody. But we had an interesting evening and we learned a lot.
That was Donald Trump, sounding, for once, almost human. But the calm didn't last. Within hours of saying those words, Trump erupted online, posting in all caps that Democrats are winning. He lashed out at his own party, accusing Republicans in Congress of letting the country fall apart because they refused to obey his command to scrap the Senate filibuster. He demanded that GOP leaders like Mike Johnson and John Thune destroy one of the only remaining checks on legislative power just to give him a free hand. When they refused, he turned on them too, claiming they were weak and helping the enemy. This wasn't strategy, it was panic, pure and simple. Trump, who built his brand on dominance, is now begging for obedience from a party that's quietly realizing he's toxic. Donald Trump doesn't believe in responsibility. When he says we're losing, he doesn't mean himself, he means everyone else. He spent his entire life pointing fingers, firing scapegoats, and rewriting reality to protect his ego. But reality is catching up. Voters are rejecting him, courts are blocking him, even Republican leaders are starting to ignore him. And that's what terrifies him most. Irrelevance. Because for Trump, losing isn't about power or politics, it's about ego. And now even his own allies are starting to see that the emperor of MAGA never had any clothes. If you're tired of watching Trump weaponize hunger, chaos, and fear to prop up his ego, make sure you're subscribed. Hit that notification bell, leave a comment, and share this video. Because the only thing Trump hates more than losing is being reminded that the rest of us are finally done letting him win.